my name is Jared Welsh, and this is my workshop on Hyperpersonal CMC. If you click on the link below the video, there is a PowerPoint presentation that you can follow along with this video. So we'll look at the second slide and the definition of what Hyperpersonal CMC is. So CMC stands for Computer Mediated Communication. So users of CMC usually try to present a more socially desirable version of themselves to the public or to the other people that they are communicating with. And this can include how we feel, how we look, even what maybe our hobbies or beliefs, political views might be. And one of the keys to Hyperpersonal CMC is the fact that we are anonymous. We can hide behind our computers or our smartphones and say whatever we like without any consequences that we would normally face maybe in our face-to-face communication. Go to the next slide. We'll talk about the process of Hyperpersonal CMC and how it is different than face-to-face communication. So we'll start with the senders. So senders can be anybody that they want to be. Our messages are editable, so we can spend time really crafting a really great message that we want to send out to the world. We also can take advantage as senders of the fact that our nonverbal cues cannot be misread or misleading. And so people that may feel a little socially awkward or maybe not comfortable speaking to people face to face may give off normal nonverbal cues that indicate that. However, through Hyperpersonal CMC, they don't need to worry about that at all. Plus, we don't have those environmental distractions when we're communicating through CMC. It is just the screen and the text that we are reading or the video we are watching. And a lot of senders like this format because they're able to easily overcome social anxiety because they're secluded from the receiver of their message. And it also goes back to what we talked about with nonverbal cues. Any type of social anxiety, they don't feel pressure from the receiver to respond quickly. If they feel awkward, then they take that time to craft a great message, and then the receiver can't tell that they might have misgivings about speaking publicly or face-to-face. Now we're going to go to the next slide and we're going to talk about our receivers, the receivers of the message. So when we get the message as a receiver, a lot of times we have to read into what the person may be saying because we don't have those nonverbal cues or environmental cues to help us figure out what the person is talking about. So because of that, the message can be inflated. We can read into certain words and make it into what we want it to be. And so this allows our imagination to wander as to what the person really is saying, or if there is a hidden meaning to what they're saying. One of the newer parts of CMC is the fact that there are emoticons in a lot of our different types of CMC channels, and that can help alleviate some of that mystery by getting the sender and receiver on the same page with a little winky face or smile face, something of that nature, to help bring everybody together in the conversation. Now we're going to the next slide and we're going to talk about the channel of CMC, so how our messages are being sent and received. And what happens here is that we can create our message even before we get a response back from a person. Think about when you're sending a text message that you can start to prepare your message before you send it because you may have an idea of what the other person is going to say. Or in a Facebook message or even an email, you can start crafting things to make it sound just right before you hit send. And because we're not face-to-face, unless you're doing FaceTime or Skype, your response does not need to be immediate. So again, we're playing on that time factor to be able to really put our best self forward, what exactly it is we want to say, perfectly craft these messages. And users of CMC really get into the technology they're using and learn how to manipulate each program to its fullest potential, which allows them to explore more and dive into it and really make these messages exactly what they want them to be, whether it's through the use of just typing the message, the emoticons, embedding other media to send forward to let somebody know the message they're trying to convey. In our next slide, we're going to talk about feedback. And this portion of the theory really has not been studied as much as the other areas that we've already discussed. And the messages, when we do the feedback, so now we've had one message and a response. We're going back and forth. And each message that we send back to the other person, we are crafting to try to please the other participant in this conversation. And these messages do not always truly reflect how we really feel or our views on a particular topic. And so what I want you to do is think about your Facebook page, for example. Go ahead and pull up your Facebook page and take a look at your profile and look at maybe your quotes or what you have on that profile, the things that define you or think they define you, and see if those actually match up to how you really feel. Then I want you to look at your timeline, your personal timeline, and look through the posts. Look at the things that you have sent out to the world. And do all of those posts truly reflect how you feel every time you're on Facebook? We see this a lot. We've seen a lot of the negative aspects of this with teenagers especially who have committed suicide because they feel their lives do not live up to the lives that are portrayed by their friends on Facebook. Think about all the pictures we see of beautiful beaches and great vacations and happy families and cute animals, and we don't post the sadness or maybe negative things about our lives, but we experience that. If we look at someone's Facebook page, we're going to think that their life is the perfect life. So all of those things fall under this hyperpersonal CMC. And so a lot of times we're involved in this process and we don't even realize that what we're doing is our hyperpersonal CMC. Thank you for watching this workshop on Hyperpersonal CMC. The last slide has references in case you want to get some more information about Hyperpersonal CMC. Thank you for watching this presentation, and God bless.